Chances are you feel like you're being watched, followed, or targeted. You might even believe you're being gang stalked, and it's terrifying, isolating, and surreal. But what if I told you this is not the end of your sanity? It's actually just the beginning of your spiritual awakening. Let's talk about what's really happening. And I promise it's deeper, more sacred, and more powerful than you think. First of all, I want to validate you. What you're experiencing is real. And in terms of how we manifest our 3D reality, 95% from the script running in our subconscious mind, this experience is real as anything else you've ever manifested. But as I just said, you are the creator. And as long as you want to be right instead of happy, as long as you continue to want to blame this experience solely on something outside of yourself in the 3D, you're only prolonging your own suffering. The paranoia, the hyper awareness, the feeling like people are conspiring against you, it's not just in your head, but it is in your psyche. And if you didn't put it there, well, that's where the journey actually begins. Okay, so what you're going through is known in spiritual terms as the dark night of the soul. It's a sacred but painful phase of our spiritual journey where the ego starts to break down, illusions dissolve, and not only your unhealed wounds rise to the surface, but also those of our ancestors. And we classify ancestors since we are all part of the same human race and nothing is truly separate. Well, you see where I'm going with this. We begin tapping into the collective unconscious, being exposed to all the wounds of those who came before us, regardless of our current incarnation's lineage. During this stage in our awakening, our shadow self, the hidden, rejected parts of us, begin to emerge. And when this happens, it can feel like the whole world is against us. That's not madness, though. It's transformation. Carl Jung, one of the most brilliant minds in psychology, talked about this very thing. What he said was, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Let that sink in. But what you're experiencing, this paranoia, this fear, is your own unconscious mind becoming conscious, or you becoming conscious of it. You are facing your shadow, the suppressed fears, guilt, trauma, and unmet needs that have been buried in your subconscious for years, maybe even lifetimes. And the people you believe are stalking or targeting you, they are projections, external symbols of your internal conflict between your conscious self and your unconscious shadow. Jung also spoke about something called the anima and the animus. Now, the divine feminine and the divine masculine energies within every person are what's considered the anima and the animus. The anima is the feminine side in men, or men and women, intuitive, emotional, nurturing, caring, compassionate. The animus is the masculine side in women, so more assertive, logical, focused, action-oriented. When we repress either of these energies, they become distorted, just like anything else we repress. And when the psyche gets out of balance, it can feel like the whole world is hostile because we are rejecting parts of ourselves. The paranoia, the fear, the feeling of being watched, it's your psyche crying out for integration. Now let's talk about something I call spiritual psychosis, which is not a clinical diagnosis by any means. I consider it a deep metaphysical state of being, though. And this happens when the ego starts to dissolve and the soul begins to awaken. Your old identity starts to crumble, almost like death. And just like real death, it can feel terrifying. It's disorienting. You might feel like you're going crazy, but you're not. You're being reborn. And all of this while you are still alive in your body. And until you do the shadow work, until you meet the abandoned parts of yourself with love and awareness, you will keep attracting chaos, confusion, and fear. So, what can you do? Okay, here's a few things I jotted down that I used myself. Start journaling your emotions and thoughts. Let your shadow speak. Learn about shadow work. Get curious about your own fears and things that you've repressed and have been ashamed of instead of running from them. Sit in stillness, meditate, breathe, reconnect with your own soul. Ask yourself, what part of me am I avoiding right now? Let me put it to you this way. The way you feel terrorized is if you're being hunted, messed with, spied on, sabotaged, plotted against, blacklisted, shadow banned, etc., etc. Now I want you to change up the characters in this screenplay. And instead of it being you that is being stalked and targeted because you're chosen, change it to your ego. Your ego is in a hypervigilant survival mode right now because it senses its own demise. You are not your ego, so let it go. Let the universe do what it do and separate you from the ego. This way, you will not be identifying as the one being the hunted. With every truth you learn, your consciousness expands. As you face the shadows lurking in your subconscious and finally acknowledge and integrate them more and more, your ego feels its era of playing you is coming to an abrupt end. The emotions, the fear, trauma, it's all being felt as your ego. Your soul and your higher self are not being triggered. They're not in fear at all. They know the drill. It's your ego feeling its own era of importance coming to an end. I have seen nothing but false information being posted out here in social media world regarding this phase of awakening and what it really is and is not. I myself did not post information while being in the thick of my own gang stalking experience, telling you guys and everyone, out here that I'm being stalked, that people are chasing us and out to get the chosen. I wanted to wait. My intuition told me my perspective was off. To post such information then would be irresponsible and misleading. However, 8 years later, and by George, she's freaking got it. I know this information inside and out, and I can explain the 3D players. I can tell you how to make it stop almost immediately, but you still need to integrate your shadow and all parts of your psyche, including your ego, who is terrified right now. Anytime you feel someone outside of you is messing with you and gang stalking, I want you to stop yourself from spiraling any further downward and instead ask yourself, what does this represent within me? What is this person's behavior toward me wanting me to see about and within myself? Also, continue to heal your mind, body, and spirit daily. Journal, draw, paint, create music, jewelry, poetry, candles, dance, jog, do some yoga or Tai Chi. Learn how to regulate your own nervous system, as I guarantee it's been stuck in fight or flight mode for years. You will need to take consistent, healthy actions every single day in order to integrate the shadow and heal through this. Every single day. Body, mind, soul. It is not easy, but there is light at the end of this tunnel. Refrain from listening to or ingesting any more videos or content that perpetrates you as a victim of other people's malice. Your only real enemy right now Well, this call is coming from inside the house. I'm going to say that. And most of all, stop fighting your mind. Just befriend it. Because this isn't punishment, it's your initiation phase. There is no other way to get to that infamous other side. The only way out of this is through. Spirituality is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. And this is the part where most people return back to organized religion, as religion is easy. I hate to say that, but it is. Jesus died for us, so there is literally nothing we have to take ownership of or responsibility for. There's nothing we have to do. It's already been done for us. It's safe. It's cozy. It even comes with a manual. So if you chose or were chosen to consciously awaken at this particular linear time on the planet, just know you are considered a spiritual badass in the divine realms. And I just saw a white orb come through. Not many can make it through this phase without losing everything, including their minds. But you can and you will. If you take heed to the information I am sharing with you today, you got this. I know how scary this feels. I have been there. But I promise on the other side of this darkness is light. And it's your light. Your light will carry you through this. You are not crazy. You are not cursed. You are awakening. If this resonates with you, please consider giving it a like, comment below with I choose to heal, and subscribe for more videos like this. You are not alone, remember that. Until next time, stay grounded, stay sovereign, and take care.